you've never been here before, just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Here is a list of the most notable rappers who passed away in 2022. Welcome to 2023. Let's start out with PnB Rock. PnB Rock is among the rappers who died in 2022. Under the situations that PnB Rock died, if we all remember, he was at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in LA having some food along with his woman, and a robbery took place and he was the target. He refused to give up his jewelry and they killed him. The people who were responsible for that turned out to be a father, son, and stepmother or mother team, and they were all arrested, and they are now currently in police custody awaiting trial. Sad story to a very productive young life lost. Let's talk about J Stash. J Stash was another one that we covered. J Stash died at 28 years old. J Stash was known, his real name was Justin Joseph. He was known as J Stash on stage, and he died January 1st of 2022 at the age of 28 years old. It was later revealed that he died after a self-inflicted gunshot wound in an apparent suicide or murder-suicide situation. It appears that Justin Joseph, aka J Stash, shot and killed his girlfriend first and then turned the gun on himself. Homicide Detective Lieutenant Derek Alford of the Los Angeles County Sheriff Department actually told this to Billboard. The children they had between them, they were actually in the home when it all happened, but it does not appear that it happened in front of them. They heard the gunshots, they were in another room, and they called 911. J Stash rose to fame following his 2016 album that was titled Hood Rich. Later, he released an additional 3 albums, including No More Distractions, Relax With Me, and 6 Before 7. Well, that was not pretty at all. Wavy Navy Pooh. Wavy Navy Pooh was on the verge of being something huge. He was already blowing up. Wavy Navy Pooh was 28 years old at his passing. Chandler Bubin, known by the stage name Wavy Navy Pooh, he died on January 14th of 2022 at the age of 28. I've never heard of some black man named Chandler Bubin. That last name is pretty peculiar. I'm gonna have to go look it up. But anyways, that was his real name. His real name was Chandler Bubin. Imagine him being a rapper and saying, "My name is Chandler Bubin. I'm from the hood." Doesn't sound right. So Wavy Navy Pooh kind of, did that for him. Anyways, he passed away at 28, and he was killed in an ambush shooting while he was driving with his family in Miami. He was best known for his song M-I-A-M-A-I, which spelled Miami, but like an acronym, more like. And it meant murder is a major issue. And apparently, murder is a major issue because he lost his life under murderous circumstances. Let's go up top right now and talk about TDOT Woo. Oh man, TDOT Woo is really coming up, man. TJ Dobson, known by the stage name TDOT Woo. He died in February of 2022 at the age of 22. TDOT Woo was also very good friends with Pop Smoke. Pop Smoke went before him, he went after. He was fatally shot. Dobson, TDOT Woo, he was fatally shot in Brooklyn just hours after signing a multi-million-dollar music record deal, which that hurts. That hurts. You know when you're trying to get up out the hood and a lot of people are pointing to you and they're like, yo, he the one. He's gonna make it. And when he makes it, he could take the rest of us with him. right? So they get behind the homie, they support him. TDOT Woo was out there doing his thing. He had a dance, the way of dancing and moving on stage that was catchy. All the girls were doing it, all the dudes were doing it, and then boom, just like that, got right one foot in the door, signed that deal, and life was done. I wonder if whoever he signed that deal to actually took out a life insurance policy on him. And I wonder if the life insurance policy paid out to them. Anyways, Snootie Wild. Snootie Wild is another one. Snootie Wild died at the age of 36. His real name was LePreston Porter. He was known on stage as Snootie Wild. He died on February 26th of 2022 at the age of 36. He was shot and killed while he was out there in Houston, Texas. Porter, he was best known for his single called Yayo, which charted on the Billboard Hot R&B Hip Hop Song charts. His situation was about a little argument that went off between some dudes and a girl, and he went outside, sat in his vehicle, and he said, "Come on, man, let's get up out of here," as far as I can remember. And I think they came out, fired into his vehicle, ended up shooting him. He hit the gas and drove his truck off, but he ended up tanking the truck in a ditch, and he died there. I remember covering this story on my other channel, and I had the pictures of the murder scene for Snootie Wild. Recently, they had caught somebody who they said is responsible for Snootie Wild's shooting. Let's hope it ends up being justice served, right? Let's go on. Let's talk about Ricky Rick. Okay, Ricky Rick died at the age of 34 years old. His name, forgive my butchering of this name, is Ricardo Muziwendulovo Macado, known by the stage name as Ricky Rick. We know he wasn't going to use that name on stage because it just wasn't going to work. I don't know, his name seems a bit African, maybe Nigerian or Ghanaian, maybe Nigerian more like. Anyways, Ricky Rick is who he was known as on stage, and he died on February 23rd at the age of 34. He was a South African rapper, and the cause of his death was listed on BBC News, British Broadcasting Corporation, as an apparent suicide. Nobody saw it coming. Nobody was saying he was depressed. He was speaking about hurting himself, and he was just a victim of that. So depression, suicide, real thing. Check on your people. Here we go. DJ K Slay. Now, if you don't know DJ K Slay and you are from the United States of America and you are into rap and hip hop, then I suggest you get to find out who this is. DJ K Slay, the original drama king. Slap your favorite rapper. Keith Grayson was his name, known by the stage name DJ K Slay. He died in April of 2022 at the age of 55. DJ K Slay had passed after a month-long battle with COVID-19. It was DJ K Slay's case with COVID that had me scared shitless, because I had caught COVID and I thought to myself, damn, when you first catch COVID, especially when you get it really bad, you think it's never gonna leave you. And waking up every day struggling to breathe is an issue. It takes a toll on your psychological makeup. Understand? So DJ K Slay, he battled with COVID for a minute, and then it seemed he was even on a respirator. He was laid up in a hospital on a breathing machine, and then he came out of that, and we thought, damn, he's gonna make it. He's beating it. And then it came back full force. Grayson, DJ K Slay, he rose to fame in the early 2000s following the release of several underground mixtapes that were just tearing up the streets. And he was dubbed hip-hop's one-man ministry of insults by the New York Times. Rest in peace to a great one, DJ K Slay. Then we have Lil Keed. Lil Keed, man, some people say Lil Keed was about to be caught up in the whole YSL stuff with Gunna, Young Thug, and all of them that are now arrested. Well, Gunna came out. Some of them have accepted plea deals and they came out. But y'all know what we're talking about. We're talking about the YSL RICO case out of Atlanta, where Young Thug is the prime person they're going after. Lil Keed would have been involved in that had he not passed away. And it's funny because he passed away around the same time that everybody was getting indicted. Young Thug, who was his mentor, had just gotten arrested, and about a couple of weeks after, Lil Keed passed away. His name was Raquid Javon Render, known by his stage name Lil Keed. He died on May 3rd of 2022 at the age of 24 years old. The YSL Records rapper died shortly after his organs started failing. In the days leading up to his death, he had complained of serious stomach pains to friends and family. I think they attributed his death to sipping too much lean and promethazine and consuming a lot of unhealthy shit. 24 years old. All your organs start to fail. Dead in no time. Listen, take care of yourself. It's 2023 and we're about to be on this health mission. All right. And then we had Trouble. Let's talk about Trouble for a minute. Trouble is one of them that was so deeply rooted in the streets of Atlanta, and Trouble was one of them who really stood for ATL. When you think of ATL and you think of rappers, you think of going back from, if you're really into the music, you'll go back to like Ludacris and these kind of guys. And then of course you gotta put Trouble in there. Anyways, Mariel Semonte Or was his real name. He was known by the stage name Trouble. He died on June 5th, 2022 at the age of 34. Trouble was fatally shot while he was sleeping in an Atlanta apartment. The suspect, Jamichael Jones, later turned himself into authorities and is now facing charges of felony murder and battery, according to Fox 5 News and other reliable news entities. Trouble was known for songs like Bring It Back, Ain't My Fault, Come Through, and a host of other songs. This whole situation could have been avoided. The backstory to Trouble's issues, why he lost his life. There was a young lady who was really good looking, and she was also a groupie, and Trouble, he slid on it. He went in there, he went over to her apartment trying to get him some, and he did. So while he was in there clapping cheeks, he didn't know that Shorty had just broken up with Crazy Man, which is her boyfriend. Here's the irony. Her boyfriend had also always wanted to be a well-known rapper. So her boyfriend was rapping and he was putting out his own music, but it wasn't really going anywhere. So you can imagine the resentment that he felt when he pulls up to his woman's house that he just broke up with, that they share the door keys together with. He just broke up with her, and she actually has a real famous rapper over here, locked up in an apartment in your bed that you used to share with her, clapping cheeks. So yes, Trouble was the one that was in there clapping cheeks, and it was said that everybody knew his car because he drove luxury vehicles, right? But he had one particular vehicle that was his personal vehicle, where everywhere it was seen in the city, everybody knew, okay, that's Trouble's car, that's Trouble's vehicle, he in the area. So when dude pulled up and he saw that car, he already knew who was over there. He's probably saying to himself, I know this bitch ain't got this rap nigga Trouble over here. And of course, that with seeing somebody successful in the things that you want to do, but you're not being successful at it, it all came crashing down and Trouble lost his life. Rest in peace, Trouble. But like Boosie said, if you kill a nigga over a bitch, you a bitch ass nigga, or some shit like that. Anyhow, moving right along, let's talk about Pat Stay. Pat Stay, he died at the age of 36. He was more of a battle rapper, and he was known for being on the battle rap circuit. In order to stand in front of these guys and go bar for bar, toe to toe, you have to be really good. He made a living, a career doing this. Pat Stay died on September 4th, 2022 at the age of 36. And he passed away following a stabbing incident in Nova Scotia, Canada. The Canadian rapper was best known for his battle raps. Desto's story was pretty twisty. Destiny Govan, known by the stage name Desto, died on September 26th, 2022 at the age of 25. She was shot multiple times and robbed in Houston shortly after posting pictures with a large amount of money on social media. The funny thing about this is a lot of people don't think that this was just a robbery. It was more like a hit, and because she had the money on her, they took the money too, right? Desto's father actually came up later to be connected to Young Dolph's murder. The streets were talking all along. Desto was signed to Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Uzi Vert says, "This was my right hand. This was my bestie. We went everywhere together. Anytime you see me, you seen her." Uzi was trying to blow her career up bigger, right? And use his platform to help her to elevate his artist. Well, I think the streets said they can't catch her daddy, so they'll get to her instead, right? There's a lot of funny stuff going on. You could go read up and look up all the information about it for yourself. But Desto's dad was connected by law enforcement to Young Dolph's murder, and he is still currently incarcerated surrounding the same issue. So we wait to see what comes out of that. But her dad did leave a message on social media before he was arrested, and the message pretty much says, "I fucked your life up. You know, I brought you into my life, my crazy life, and I taught you my ways," kind of thing. Not those exact words, but it was along those lines. It was like pretty much admitting guilt, that it was because of me why you ended up dead at such a young age, 25. And I'm sorry, baby girl, right? Moving right along though, let's go on to the legendary rapper Coolio. Coolio died at the age of 59 years old. May I tell y'all that Coolio died without a will. He did not leave a will behind, and he has a bunch of kids that are now going to be trying to figure out how they split his assets that he left behind. I don't remember what his net worth is. It wasn't a whole lot of millions or anything. I don't even think it reached $1 million. But I'm supposing he has property as well and all these other stuff. And I think like $800 and something thousand in cash to split up between all his children. There's a lesson in this for us. Get your life in order. Put a will in place if you have some things, you know, so people know how to bury you or dispose of your body, if you want to call it that. Cremation, burial. And if you want your little 97 Ford Explorer to go to your girlfriend, and your, you know, the shed that you live in to go to your sister or your brother or whatever, your will, your wishes are granted after you pass. Anyhow, artist Leon Ivy Jr., known by the stage name Coolio. Artist Leon Ivy Jr., known by the stage name Coolio. He died on September 28, 2022 at the age of 59. His oldest son, artist Ivy III, later told the U.S. Sun that their dad died after suffering a heart attack. He said, "My dad was having a couple of health complications. He was taking care of some of those things. A lot was going on with asthma, real bad asthma," his son said. "He was, for the most part, drug-free, but my dad lived for the day. You know, everyone in life has their vices, but those vices never really affected him as a father or a man. He died of natural causes. He just had a heart attack. He didn't fear death at all. It was another step to paradise for him. Coolio rose to fame in the late 90s and was known for the album It Takes a Thief, the smash single Gangsta's Paradise, and My Soul. I think he also had a whole album named Gangsta's Paradise, off of which the single Gangsta's Paradise came from, right? Let's keep on going.
Sometimes I think about my dogs who ain't get to graduate. Only thing they graduated was the heaven gates. Couple days before my B-day, brother passed away, and we weren't even on good terms. I ain't felt Saturdays. Long live my brothers. Sometimes I think about my dogs who ain't get to graduate. Only thing they graduated was the heaven gates. Couple days before my B-day, brother passed away, and we weren't even on good terms. I ain't felt Saturdays, so I can't let this pass me by. I gotta catch the wave, and they gon' act like they relate. Don't know how action takes. Honestly, it ain't too many real ones after me. Lot on my mind, I hope my sister got that cancer beat. So they say, keep your head up, it's gon' get better. The stormy weather don't last forever. Keep your head up, I went on fed up. This stormy weather don't seem like it's ending. So fuck it. Ain't going to court on catching buckets. In the field with that still, if he got smoke, no, we ain't ducking. Told her I ain't gangsta, I'm just sliding, say I'm thuggin'. Cause the way them people raise me, dog, I just can't go for nothing. And my dog sitting in heaven, wish I could call to say I love it. But if heaven got a phone, so I done called and it don't function. Devil on my tracks and I've been running. But how long I'm gon' keep running? Keep your head up, it's gon' get better. The stormy weather don't last forever. Keep your head up, I went on fed up. This stormy weather don't seem like it's ending. Brother tryna put me on the plate, Lord knows I'm tryna do it the right way. But my pockets ain't been up in a couple months, I'm catching migraines. Arguing with my mom about her bills, oh girl, the light pay. Ain't even had no job, I was scamming, throwing a chump change. My brother went up north back to his city, heard he but came back able with enough food for all our lunch trays. Money problem, health problems, and on death problems. Hit my knees and pray to God cause I can't seem to solve them. Contemplating L1s, I almost dropped the comma. Tryna feed my brother cause he tired of eating pasta. Contemplating L1s, I almost dropped the comma. Tryna feed my brother cause he tired of eating pasta. Keep your head up, it's gon' get better. The stormy weather don't last forever. Keep your head up, I went on fed up. This stormy weather don't seem like it's ending. Keep your head up, it's gon' get better. The stormy weather don't last forever. Keep your head up, I went on fed up. This stormy weather don't seem like it's ending.
I think one of the saddest ones for the year was Takeoff. Takeoff off the Migos. And this is probably going to be the saddest one for years to come, right? Because Takeoff didn't really do nothing to nobody. He didn't deserve this, and his image wasn't that off. I'm out here throwing up a gang rag, throwing up gang signs, and I'm riding, doing drive-bys and encouraging people to kill people. That just wasn't his aura. Takeoff was like if you look at all the rappers in the rap game, Takeoff was probably the quietest, most well-mannered person you ever seen. Anyhow, Takeoff died at the age of 28. Takeoff, let me tell you, when he was singing about being rich and rich nigga shit, he was actually really, really rich. You know, some people passed away and they left behind like $5 million. Some people left behind $800,000. Some people left behind 1.5 mil. Takeoff actually left behind over $25 million. So them Migos boys was really, really getting money. And that song that his uncle did, right, to commemorate him, I gotta do a full review on it. The song is sad as hell. Anyway, Kershnik Kari Ball was his real name, and he was known on stage as Takeoff. He died on November 1st, 2022 at the age of 28. Didn't even get to see 30. The rapper, who performed alongside his uncle Quavo and his cousin Offset in the hip-hop group Migos, he was shot and killed behind some bullshit out in Houston, Texas. And to this minute, I still think that Takeoff's death was orchestrated, and it was definitely a hit. I don't think that was no accident. Mind you, the police said that there were about 30 to 40 people that were on the scene that had left the bowling alley and were chilling outside after the party was done. And this is where all the argument and stuff started taking place. And they said after that happened, not even one person stayed around to see or to say to them, "We saw what happened, officer. It's the guy in the red top that had the big star on the back of it." No information was given. Every single person fled the scene without speaking to law enforcement. Takeoff, famous internationally with smash hit platinum records, current artist, not a throwback back in the day that nobody can remember, on the charts now artist, shot to death in a well-lit area with a whole lot of cameras around, and nobody saw anything. Sad as hell. And up to recently, the one person who was actually arrested and charged for Takeoff's murder was released after paying his $1 million bond. So he is now sitting at home and waiting for a trial. Let's move along. We lost Granddaddy IU in December. A lot of you might not know about Granddaddy IU because, back in the day, Granddaddy IU was remembered for his hit Something New and another one called Sugar Free. So on December 13th of 2022, rapper Granddaddy IU passed away in his sleep at the age of 54. I mean, it's not a bad way to go. I still think that's a young age to go, though. I don't want to exit life at 54. You got a whole lot more to live. You know what I mean? But if I was to say, let me exit life at 54, all intact, just fall away in my sleep, or do I want to live till I'm like 90 years old, but suffer and have my leg amputated and all this other stuff? Hey, take me out at 54 in my sleep. He didn't die in an accident. He didn't die from no stab wounds or gunshot wounds. He laid down in his bed and he passed away. He was best known for hits like Something New and Sugar Free. His business manager wrote a statement on Instagram and said, "I'm devastated. I'm completely devastated. Anyone who really knows me knows how much pure love and respect I had for him. I pray for a peaceful and easy transition." And that was about that. Big Scarr, man. Big Scarr's story was something else. Big Scarr's whole life was a look into ghetto and inner city youths coming up. Whole lot of guns being told, a whole lot of money being made for young dudes, whether it's from the streets, the traps, or legal means of making money or whatever. And they're out here wilding and doing wild shit, addicted to drugs, and nobody to tame them and nobody to help control them or steer them in the right direction. That was Big Scarr. Big Scarr was signed to Gucci Mane's record label, Imprint 1017. There's a big issue going on recently about who paid for Big Scarr's funeral and how come Gucci didn't just pay for the whole funeral and all this other stuff. I'm not going to get into the politics and the details of all that, but I remember first seeing Big Scarr, and he was on some talk show and he opened up about just being happy to be out of his hood, just being able to get on a plane and escape his environment and go somewhere. And when he goes somewhere and he does a show, he gets treated like a star, and he doesn't have to worry about the ops. He doesn't have to worry about gunshots. He doesn't have to worry about all the tragic stuff that's happening back home. But his demons were on him and they were following him, right? His uncle said he suffered from major depression and he self-medicated a lot. That means smoking and drinking yourself to sleep, staying high all the time, all that other stuff, and that is what he did. I remember I was thinking, why would they call him Big Scarr? And he pulled up his shirt in an interview and he said, yeah, man, I almost lost my life. I got shot up. Pulled his shirt up. And you know when you get shot up and the doctor has to open you up from chest to navel, that big old jagged scar in the middle of your belly? He had one of those. And then he talked about after that, he got in a serious car accident that almost took his life as well. So on Thursday, December 22nd, Memphis-based rapper Big Scarr died at the age of 22, baby age. His mentor, Gucci Mane, paid tribute to him through an Instagram post and said, "This hurt. I'ma miss you." At this point, I think Gucci them is probably used to seeing death anyways. And I have the question again that I'm gonna ask again. I wonder if Gucci had a life insurance policy on Big Scarr. And if Gucci did have a life insurance policy on Big Scarr, I wonder how much it paid out. And I wonder if it did pay out. I'm just saying, right? Because there's this talk that they give these big record labels, there are these big record deals to the most volatile young men. Those who are hooked on drugs, those who are gang affiliated, those who are, but they're talented in the same breath. Hooked on drugs, gang affiliated, has a prison record, criminal record. More than likely, they'll end up getting shot to death because they got a lot of ops in the streets, or they'll overdose because they're always high, or they'll end up committing murder and going to prison, or being a part of some gang activity that ends up putting them in prison. You take out a life insurance policy or an insurance policy against that, and it's just a part of business. But I find that a lot of record companies are giving these deals to these types of young men and they're banking on it. Because if I take a life insurance policy out on you and you end up having a 2-year career, 2 years instead of a 20-year career, I don't have to invest that much in you before I get a payback. You died under these circumstances, there goes my business and all the money I invested in the last 2 years. So this multi-million-dollar life insurance policy is about to pay it to me, and once it pays it to me, I can elevate my record label even more, go get me some more artists that are like you, and repeat the cycle. With that said, that's the list that we have for 2022. If we missed anybody that was noteworthy, then please leave their name in the comment section below. Y'all be good out there. Catch y'all down the road. I'm out.
I'm at the highway, I'm at the highway, I'm at the highway, I'm at the highway. It all started in that empty highway. Ask if I'm gon' ride, I say highway. In that highway, I'm in that highway right now. Gotta get this shit the highway. Empty hallways, posted by the light on them dark days. Ask me how long I'm gon' ride, I say always. Gotta keep you on my side, you a part of me. Gotta keep that Nina strapped on me, that shit mandatory. Lost so young to the gun, that's another story. 16, switching lanes, riding with a 40. So much pain on his brain, addicted to the codeine. Remember he had court dreams, he was shooting at the spot. He got caught into the crowd, he was shooting at the eye. And it get crazy, this life get shady. He is mama baby, but she can't change him, cause he way too gone for a lesson. And he been on his own, he felt it since adolescence. Even though he ain't grown, his problems grown, he stressing. Grandma told him to pray, he hoping for all the blessing. His bro died, his pops cried, and he died. His mom's cried, he lost a lot to the street life. Whole time he was posted up by the street sign. He want that get back, he gon' put on the sleep now. His first murder, he cried, I could see it in his eye. That son inside just died, but he don't even know why. His mama told him put the gun down, but he know moving like that could get you gunned down. He can't walk like he gon' run down. Click, click, clack, that's the gun sound. Another one down. Get to spinning till the sun out, and then they spinning till the sun down. In them highways, It all happening on highway. He was in the kitchen like he parlay, and then he took it to the trenches and on highway. Empty hallway, I see my dog before he died in the empty highway. A lot of shit go down them empty highways. The drugs getting slung and them bitches getting fucked in them highways. They get to acting like they thugs in them highways. I seen a nigga catch some slugs in the hallway. He called the plug, that boy got bucked in that hallway. Them junkies knocking on the door, nigga, all day. Empty hallways, posted by the light on them dark days. Ask me how long I'm gon' ride, I say always. Gotta keep you on my side, you a part of me. Gotta keep that Nina strapped on me, that shit mandatory. Lost so young to the gun, that's another story. 16, switching lanes, riding with a 40. So much pain on his brain, addicted to the codeine.